I am really ecstatic about the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I would like to first and foremost thank all service members for their service. I would like to, on this day, however, extend a particular thank you to those servicemen and women that have endured years, sometimes decades, of having to serve in an environment, having to work in an environment that was openly hostile towards them. And I think that's what's represented by Don't Ask, Don't Tell, if not the exclusionary policies that existed even before that, which made Don't Ask, Don't Tell seem victory at the time. I would also like to challenge those who have issues with Don't Ask, Don't Tell being repealed to also take a moment to open yourselves to what I have to quickly say here. And that's two things. One, we have to think about the kinds of environments that we produce and if those environments sit well with us. I was watching one of my favorite movies just recently, Victim, a 1961 film that takes place in London about a group of gay men who were being blackmailed under a law that many could liken to Don't Ask, Don't Tell, because it protected the bullies and the harassers. And the movie is ironically named Victim because the crux of the movie is that one person is a hero and turns the situation around. And finally, agrees to testify against the person and hunt them down that are blackmailing him, and it turned out to be a very unlucky bunch. But one thing in particular struck me about the penultimate scene is that you see this blackmailer in the black room developing clandestine shots of these men that were sort of prove that they are gay. And it occurred to me that as I heard a serviceman on Talk of the Nation NPR program today talking about the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell and what it means to him as a serviceman, and he was just saying something as basic as we can put photos on our desks and participate in the social life that we have in our environments. That everyone comes back from the weekends and talks about what they did and who they did it with, and you see photos of their loved ones. I have a photo, selection of photos over here of my loved ones. I have me and a very good friend. I have my mother. I have my grandmother and I have my partner and I. And to not be able to share that with people, what the deep injury that caused him, not to be able to share that with people, not to be able to open his life to others who are opening his life to them. In a sense, when we talk about unit cohesion, well, in a sense, that man wasn't able to contribute to trust building with his coworkers because they couldn't learn, he couldn't volunteer information about himself. And that was the basis of trust, is what he was saying in this example. And also, I think in that movie, Victim, all the men who were blackmailed, they could be blackmailed because they could not show, the pictures of their loved ones to their other loved ones. And only sort of family pictures that they had were in this blackmailer's hands. And so that's effectively what we're doing with policies like Don't Ask, Don't Tell, is we're protecting the bullies, the ones who take the cheap shots, we're appealing to a very banal kind of existence where we think that over some sort of gay fear, gay panic, that that all those servicemen and women will rise to the occasion and learn to respect one another. And I think that's expecting too little of us, and I think we're often guilty of that. So on this day, I'd like to challenge us all to look forward to what it means to build an inclusive society. And the military is a very good metaphor and an example tool for the civilian society to learn, because in a sense we say, if we're all equal, then how would we all do? And the military, one thing that attracts many people to the military and also government service, is that in principle it's more democratic, which is ironic since the military is by definition not democratic but a rigid hierarchy. But on the other side, we know that it's freer than civilian society from discrimination. So in many ways, I think that we all look towards the military to represent our hopes, our dreams, our ability to defend ourselves, our ability to be disciplined, to be organized, to work together, especially in hard times, but also when times aren't, at war, as it were. Um, so it's very meaningful for me as an individual. And lastly, I'll just close with this: when we talk about um, what it's meant to be able to come out, because I think a lot of times straight people don't realize that they're actually out and how out they are. It's the benefit of the majority to not have to be aware of itself. But again, back to this idea of the ways that we protect bullies rather than um, be an inclusive society. I mean, this policy was implemented when I was just coming out. I was a teenager. Bill Clinton was in office. Um, I think it was maybe my first year in college, so literally 17, 18 years old. And while it was bittersweet to say that we could serve, but you just don't have to know our business. And people always have this little flippant ways of saying it's your personal business like that, like having a picture of my loved ones on my desk is my personal business. Um, or being honest with my coworkers about how I spend my weekends, as I don't spend it in some dungeon locked under whipping somebody or whatever. But the idea that growing up in a nation that would turn away from you, that at best would say, well, we just don't really have to know you. You don't have to get to know. You don't have to talk about who you are. That who you are is implicitly shameful, is what it says. And I don't think that we want to teach any young person that who they are is implicitly shameful. And that's what we have done with such policies. Now it's over. Amen.
I adore you, need you, gotta have it, love you, baby, please be my wife, life.